Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now, pharmacists are warning they're struggling to obtain some common medicines, including painkillers and antidepressants, leaving patients complaining of delays in getting the drugs they need. The BBC has learned there's been a big rise in the number of medicines being placed on the shortage of supply list for England. Increased global demand and the rising cost of raw materials are being blamed for some of the shortages. Here's our health correspondent, Catherine Burns.
Here's a drug, candesartan, which, as you can see here, has gone completely red. Major wholesalers.
As we film, the realisation that another drug is running low.
This main wholesaler has now gone completely out of stock. Now, suddenly, we're going to have to start to shop around to make sure customers and our patients continue to get access to this medicine.
It's not unusual for this to happen, problems with supply and demand for medicines. In fact, every month the government agrees to pay a premium for some drugs where availability is low. What is unusual is the number of drugs they're doing this for. Lists are published every month showing which medicines are in such short supply. In January 2015, there were 12. The highest number was in 2017, well before Brexit became a pressing issue. At the end of last year, there was a surge from 45 in the autumn to the most recent figure, 80. Many of the shortages have been for commonly prescribed drugs, like furosemide used to treat high blood pressure and naproxen, a common anti-inflammatory. Wendy Turner can struggle with everyday tasks. She has a condition which means she's always in pain. She says naproxen keeps it down to a manageable level.
I've got tablets left for today and tomorrow, and then they're gone. And I'm worried, I'm a bit scared about it, and it's stress.
If she can't get any in time, she's going to have to take a less strong alternative. Pharmacists say there's almost always something else to try, as long as people get their prescriptions in good time. Most people won't notice this and will still be getting their prescriptions filled as normal. But I've spoken to others who are really worried, especially people with long-term conditions. One woman told me she's tracked down her medicines online in America. Others say they're sharing with friends. And one man told me he's having to cut tablets in half to guess the right dosage. All of those have their own risks. There are several possible reasons why this is happening, from increased global demand to the rising cost of raw materials. Some in the industry think there could be an element of so-called unconscious stockpiling along the supply chain ahead of a possible no-deal Brexit. But the government and others say there's no evidence that's happening.
I don't think Brexit is the factor at the moment. It's too early. We're too far away. One of the things we have is the NHS has been really good at getting drugs at really good prices. But of course the companies that are involved are global. And if they're in a position where they get a better price for their product somewhere else in the world, it may well be they're supplying those other countries in priority to the NHS in the UK.
The government says it's working closely with the industry to make sure patients get the medicines they need. Catherine Burns, BBC News.
The government's financial watchdog has warned that the long-term plan to improve the NHS in England, which was announced last week, could be threatened by growing waiting lists and staff shortages. The National Audit Office also says it will be difficult to make the NHS sustainable without a long-term funding settlement for social care.